Stormrock was growing, both in population and in wealth. The new farmlands were rich and bountiful, and merchants traveled far and wide to trade goods with the bustling community. Unfortunately, this brought unwanted attention. Pirates and marauders began attacking trade ships and accosting caravans. Eventually, their efforts were focused upon the Great Plateau. The wall's construction had begun, and there was a castle already built on the secondary plateau. But the city was widely undefended. There was a token guard force, but not a true military. All efforts were turned from building the city to building a defense force to help fend off the attackers. The first step towards this goal was building a blacksmith to forge weapons and armor, and a small barracks to train and house troops. As Stormrock was the seat of power for Falsan, others began arriving to help defend the city and help with the construction of the walls. It was at this time that a small fort was erected not far from the plateau to help further bolster the defenses of Stormrock and the surrounding farmlands. The assistance proved fruitful as the pirate attacks began to lessen. However, King Galleon knew this would not be the last they'd see of the pirates. There were also stirrings of something more sinister lurking in the shadows. Darker times were approaching, and the king prayed to Zephyra that Stormrock would be ready. Alright guys, let's go ahead and do a quick tour of what we've done in this video with the blacksmith and the guards areas and all that stuff. So we're going to start off with the main entrance here, and again, just kind of like the last video, you get to see a little sneak peek of what's coming up in future videos. Very cool. Alright, so whereas everything was on the left of the main street last time, this time it's all on the right, and we start off here with this like tax records office. You'd come in here with your merchants would stop here to declare what goods they're bringing in. Maybe people would declare what goods they're bringing out, pay taxes as necessary. It's also where people would stop for census related things, as well as kind of like if you're in trouble with the law, you kind of would stop here too. It's kind of a little catch-all. So we're gonna go in real quick. You see, go off into this main opening area. It's pretty tight in here. This actually leads into the tower, which is not finished. I will probably do towers and walls as a separate just update without having a full video of them since they're already built. Going this way leads to the tax office. All right, so again, this is where, you declare goods, declare what you're planning on selling, what you're doing, if you're just moving in, all that kind of stuff, pay taxes. If you're behind on taxes, you'd come to this office, whatever, it's the tax office. All right, so now we'll come and look at, let's close this door. We'll look at this door real quick here. This leads to another little waiting room. Back here leads to the back alley that leads to the barracks and the training grounds, but we'll come look at that from a different angle in just a second. All right. Really just nice and cozy. They want you to feel like you're not just terrified out of your mind when you're in here. But in here is, of course, where the records for people, census information, all that would happen. Immigrants would have to stop through here. Maybe prisoners on the way to the jails would have to stop through here. Anything like that. So, yeah, this is the tax and people office, census office. Cool. All right, so obviously we've got this little wall that goes around down the main street, but on this side of it we have a locked gate that is another little alleyway that leads again to the barracks and then the training grounds. Let's go look at the training grounds real quick. You can see there's a little bit of clutter back here. People would probably hang out. The guards, when they're off duty, might come out here and hang out a little bit. Yeah, got this little nook where they've got a broken barrel and just some random stuff back there. But going down the stairs. All right, here is the training area. So here they would just, practice shooting their arrows. It's probably the most important skill for most of the soldiers. Obviously hand-to-hand would be worked on, but since most of the soldiers spend their time up on the walls, they need to be proficient with shooting arrows. Leading this way is going to be more military-related stuff. I'm thinking maybe a prison or something like that in the future, dungeon, but we'll get to that at a later date. And then under here you've got some supplies for arrows, or for bows and arrows and all that stuff, and then an entrance into the barracks on the underground. So I'm going to go back up and start at the barracks from the top. So this is just like a main foyer kind of a thing. People might hang out here a little bit, but it does have a lot of good resources for soldiers to go and read, learn some strategy, learn maybe new ways to maintain their bows and arrows, their swords, all that stuff. Coming out here, we've got just a balcony where the Lord Commander could yell at the people who are practicing down below and tell them how insufficient they are and they need to get their rears in gear and all that crap, Up here is the Lord Commander's office. This is also the main entrance. So down here is behind locked doors and locked gates. Only soldiers are going to be getting into the barracks from down here. But this is the main entrance right next to the blacksmith in this other building that we'll get to in a little bit. I know this road doesn't really connect to anything at the moment. Oh, it does. But yeah, so this is how you would get to the actual guards room itself, and you get greeted, of course, Lord Commander's office. Up the stairs is the Lord Commander's bedroom. Quite nice, fancy bedroom. Just enough space that he can hang out here when he's not working, but obviously he's probably usually working when he's not asleep. All right, and then the final part of the barracks is the actual barracks themselves, where the soldiers sleep. So you come down here, we've got a small little armory. This is where they store their weapons when they're not actively using them, when they're off duty, when they're sleeping. And then down here, we've just got a bunch of beds, little bunk beds with storage space for them. Very simple down here. We've got an eating area, little dining area. And here's the kitchen for the guards. And again, this door right here goes directly to the training grounds. So that's everything for the barracks. We're gonna actually come out and we're gonna go just up and over this building and come back down to the main street. All right, so these are the shops from last video. These are the new things that we'll discuss later. But you come around the corner here and you come up the stairs. There'll be a little side road here. Then also over around here leads to the blacksmith. So this blacksmith primarily works with the town's guards, but he will sell some things on commission. He does make some stuff for the shop across the street, the general goods store, that they sell for a markup. We've got coal stored here. We've got their little water to cool off the metal, some bellows for the forge, anvil. He keeps his tools under the cover over here, nice and dry. He's got some ores here that he's working on. Around the corners, extra firewood that he's storing. Again, between the coal and the firewood, helps keep the fire going. We'll go take a look inside real quick. So he also sells some of his own goods directly. Mostly this is going to be a showcase of his weapons for people who want to come in and get commission, but he will sell you these weapons too as well. Back behind the counter, we've got the living area. Really nice fireplace. It's attached to the forge. It's the same structure, but obviously the side itself is just a normal size fireplace. We've got a small kitchen area, lots of books, probably mostly on techniques and, how to build certain weapons, items, all that kind of stuff. A little dining area. And you go upstairs and he's got this really cool loft space that he sleeps in. Just a simple bedroom, dresser, vanity, and a desk. Super, super simple in here. He lives comfortably, but he's not overly lavish. All right, and then we'll come on back down over here. Again, here's the entrance to the barracks. Over here this building is also owned by the blacksmith. This is the warehouse. So in here he's storing, and of course this would be a locked door, of course, but he's storing extra ores, extra minerals, extra stone, anything he needs in order to actually create weapons and create other things, horseshoes or anything else that is needed, armor, any of that stuff. Though we will actually build a real armorer later on. Maybe this guy would help out in the armorer, but he mostly specializes in weapons, and of course he'd do horseshoes and nails and all the simple stuff that people need. All right, well that is everything that I've built in the last update. I hope you enjoyed this video, hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. Please, if you feel so inclined, give me a like, subscribe, write a comment, any of that kind of stuff. Help keep the video going. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all have a great rest of your time.